All right, what's going on? They have killed Gaddafi's son, Muammar Gaddafi's son. All right, let's see what's going on. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into this.
Now, Saif al-Islam, son of the former Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, has been killed. An arrest warrant was issued for him back in 2011 by the International Criminal Court. He was sentenced to death by a court in the Libyan capital Tripoli in 2015 for crimes during the civil war. He was released from prison 2 years later by local authorities. Malik Trainer has this update now from Tripoli.
According to Uthman Abdullah, he's a political advisor for Saif al-Islam Gaddafi. He said that four armed men entered the residence of Saif al-Islam Gaddafi in the city of Tan. They assassinated him. So, right now what we know is that the General Prosecutor's Office has announced an investigation into the death. Late last night, they sent a forensic team and they examined the body. They assessed that Saif died from gunshot. He was a very controversial figure, feared by politicians here in Western Libya, by the internationally recognized government, but also in Eastern Libya, but with the parallel government controlled by Khalifa Haftar. In 2021, Saif al-Islam announced his candidacy for president. And in part, that's one of the reasons why elections didn't happen. They were indefinitely postponed. So depending on how you felt about Saif, we saw lots of different reactions last night. For instance, in the city of Misrata, which was a rebel stronghold in 2011, last night after the news broke out, people came out on the streets, fireworks, people celebrated. Whereas in Sirte, Gaddafi's hometown, those videos emerged of women, coming out into the streets and wailing and crying out of grief. Many people wanted Khalifa Saif al-Islam dead, but many people also we're just going to have to wait and see as to why and who killed him after this investigation turns out. Mal Trainer, Al Jazeera, Tripoli.
Yeah, man, that's unfortunate to be gunned down like that. Four people in a home. Very polarizing figure. It seems like very much kind of like his father in the public eye, in the Western eye, because some people supported his father, and definitely the West did not support his father at all. So many of the media outlets that you hear things about him through the Western media, you gotta take, you gotta make sure you check your T's and cross your T's and dot your I's with the Western media when it comes to Gaddafi. But yeah, man, it's crazy, man. Father like son when it comes to being murdered and being in a high political position.
Let's take this on with Claudia Gazzini, who joins us from Rome. She's a senior crisis group. Claudia, great to have you with us. So Said was perhaps the most prominent son of Muammar Gaddafi. Can you tell us more, first of all, about what he was hoping to achieve in Libya and just why he might have been killed?
Well, first of all, he's the only son of Muammar Gaddafi who remained in Libya after the rest of the family fled and took on a life in exile. So he was the only one tangibly on the ground. He didn't have a real political project, but he was aspiring at some point, or at least pretending at some point, to be able to come back to power. And he was leveraging, I think, the nostalgia that many Libyans felt towards the old regime. Also the chaos that the country has fallen into since 2011, the insecurity that people felt. So there was a sizable amount of the population that dreamt and hoped that there could be a return of some form of stability under Saif al-Islam, and they pinned their hopes on him.
So could there not?
So it's still no stability in Libya. It seems like, and it seems like he didn't leave after Muammar Gaddafi was murdered. He didn't leave. He stayed on the ground, and guess he was trying to position himself to become a real political power. But that did not come to fruition. So yeah, that's pretty and so it seems like Libya hasn't gotten back stable after the murder of Muammar Gaddafi. After the French or the West or whoever came and murdered him. unalived him. Excuse me. So yeah.
Repercussion given his tribal affiliations and so forth?
Well, certainly he had some enemies in the country who feared his political standing, but we don't know who actually carried out the assassination. And yes, there was an investigation that was set up by the prosecutor's office, but Libya is Libya, and rarely do investigations actually lead to a culprit. So I think the most immediate consequence of this is continuing blame game against various political opponents. We've seen friends and associates of Saif al-Islam immediately turn to social network and accuse the usual suspects. Fingers are pointed to Khalifa Haftar, who's the strong man in eastern Libya and who's known not to have good relations with Saif al-Islam. He and his sons feared the rising popularity of Gaddafi's son. Fingers were also pointed to other military leaders seeking to sort of prove themselves with the various Libyan constituencies. Now, what all this means is that this blame game, which is happening against the backdrop of relatively unstable peace in Libya, deteriorating economic conditions for the average Libyans, and a disaffected constituency, which is the pro-Saif al-Islam constituency, could possibly unsettle the waters in Libya. We could see maybe protests, we could see alliances shifting, a breakdown of the current very tenuous system of governance in the country.
Because
makes enemies.
It's been a country fraught with division, well, since back in 2011 and before, and it hasn't actually ever recovered from that, has it? Are there fears now that the intentions that existed then, that this could now lead to further conflict?
Well, in the immediacy, we don't think that this will lead to an outright sort of armed repercussion. Saif al-Islam, we have to remember, did not have his military force. There isn't like a specific unit of pro-Saif al-Islam supporters. We have military commanders embedded in both sides of the coalition. But what this could mean is a gradual, possible deteriorating relations between the two main factions, who maybe will turn to accusing one another for this killing. So this could have medium-term repercussions, but not an immediate sort of military operation that will unfold. At least I don't expect it to happen anytime soon.
Given this and everything that you've been describing, any optimism for a new electoral process in the future seems to be a million miles away, doesn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, Libya remains stuck in this situation where it has two rival governments, both claiming to be legitimate, each with its military coalition. They feign to be rivals, but at the same time are doing business deals with one another and are consolidating their relatively authority on the ground. So I think this is the reality that Libya is in. There's no prospect for a new political process that could change this reality. Elections are far away. And this is building up people's frustration, especially in the camp of those who would like to see new faces or old faces, but not those in power now, come to the scene. But this prospect is very limited at the moment.
All right, it seems like Libya has a lot on their hands, and rest in peace to Saif Gaddafi. Rest in peace to Muammar Gaddafi. And I hope things go well for Libya. It seems like they have two opposing governments right now, but they seem to work together enough to, I don't know. It seems just like a lot of stuff is going on in Libya. So yeah, there you have it, man. Saif Gaddafi has been murdered. Very much the same way as his father has been, Muammar Gaddafi, in the past. So, man, like, comment, subscribe. Shout out. We out.